Thank you guys so much for being here, for sharing your film with our audience, for participating in the Q&A. I'm gonna start off with a couple questions and then I'll open it up to the audience, okay? So, well, first this movie takes us on an emotional journey, right? There's moments where I found myself reflecting on the things I thought I was gonna be doing 20 years ago, and I don't know, we just go on an emotional journey. But I wonder, what's the ultimate takeaway that you want people who see this film to walk away with? Is there an ultimate takeaway?
Well, we were trying to create something that kind of flowed by like life flowed by for us, you know? So, and, you know, also I guess it's just hard to sum everything up. They changed a lot, but then a lot of things stayed the same. And, you know, I didn't really want to produce it or like force it in any direction. I was just trying to kind of be like, honest with what happened and just try to present what happened for reals, you know.
And I guess a takeaway would be that people, it's hard to know what's really going on with people. You see them at their moments of success, and that's kind of what you think their life is like, but then you don't really know what's the experience, what, you know, their day-to-day and what their struggles are. And so I think part of it too is just to show a more holistic view of people, both talking about their successes, but then also their struggles. So that's what I would say. Just understanding everybody struggles.
And my next question is for the participants, for Anthony and Tim. So Matt and Eliza call you up 30 years later, and they're like, hey, you know, you want to look at this time capsule and get your thoughts and see what's going on with your life. How did you feel about it? Were you reluctant, or were you immediately like, yes, let's do it? I want to be filmed and be vulnerable on screen. Can you talk a little bit about the experience?
I was already living here in Philly by that point. I got here in 2016. So to me, it sounded fun. I mean, they were moving back here. I hold on to friends a lot. I let people go that, you know, want to be let go of, but you know, you don't have to let go of your extended community when you get older. In fact, it's smarter to reconnect with the ones that you can, and that strengthens your life. You know, having people in your life because I moved around a lot throughout my life, so you know, being able to reconnect with people like that is important to me. But I thought it was a brilliant idea, because how often do you get to have a film of people when they started off, and then even some periods in between, and then where they ended up like 30, 40 years later. It's like, to me, that's amazing. So I was thankful for it.
So I stayed in touch with Matt, you know, off and on over the years, and we started making, you know, the Intangible Foe when we were like kids, and then Matt stuck with it and spent his whole life doing this, and so in some ways we were always just talking to each other. The stuff you saw is just like us hanging out, like we would talk to each other all the time. And if I knew that I would be standing here and talking to an audience about the stuff we were talking about, I might have been a lot more inhibited or felt weird about it. But like at the time, it was just, you know, Matt and I trying to figure out how to live, and I'm just really grateful to have a chance to be part of something like this.
Yeah, and then this is my last question before I open it to you all. I wanted to know if we could get an update on everyone we met in the film, like how's Doug doing? And of course you all can give your own updates yourself, but just an update on all your friends.
Yeah, Doug came to the last screening. He's doing well. He's in remission, and he quit smoking. Daniel's doing good. He got a job in Kansas City. You know, just working, doing his thing. And then the other three are here. So
I'd say the big change is moving back, what I consider home, Philadelphia. It's been really nice. My family all lives out here, and it's just been great to be back home. So that's been my big change.
I'm getting to the point in my life where I'm finally getting close to thinking about retirement, which is pretty cool. And so, just like the movie went into, I'm feeling like maybe if I'm lucky, I can pivot over to do some creative stuff, kind of like Matt and Anthony have been doing for their career side, but I haven't been, and so I'm excited for that.
I live here in Philly. I love it. I'm not going anywhere. Philly's a rough city. It's not for everybody, for real. For real, it's not even a joke. This city is not for everybody. But I come from a working class. I've been working since I was 12. Everybody in my family was like that. So I identify with the city. So I just came here and fought for my place in it. And my art is going great. Like, the more I do, the better it goes. I have a show in Germantown right now. I'm in a group show right now at Imperfect Gallery, where I have that Marshall Allen sculpture. And I don't know if he's seen it yet, but he lives around the corner at the Sunrise House. It's like 2 blocks away from there. Been trying to get this guy to see this piece for but he's 101. He's touring the world. He's made 2 albums just in the since the beginning of the year. And so Philly gives me a lot of adventures and stuff. And my lady, Ursula, there she is. She's famous here. She's an amazing poet, activist, super well known in Philly. Thanks for helping make me comfortable in Philly. And we've been together 10 years. We just had our anniversary this week. It's going great. My daughters I have twins. They're in college at Georgia State in their 2nd year. Their sister's in senior year of high school. She's with her mother in California. And we're great. Family's great. Everybody's great. Our kids are great. I mean, it wasn't always cool. Things weren't always cool. So I'm like, if I seem happy and excited, it's because of that. There's the shift in life. And that's it. Thank you. Oh yeah, tomorrow's my birthday. Keep an eye on my work, because we're really, I'm just revving up. Generation X, I learned we get second life.
That's right.
So and usually around your 50s, you can choose to reinvent your whole life and go out, and you still have the energy to do it and go out and do some new shit. So I'm not doing my second life, I'm just continuing that first one that as you saw, and I'm just kicking it up, that's it.
Do you all have any questions for our guest? Yes.
Oh, so what was the production process? So did you get all this footage and then do the editing at the end, or were you kind of like editing as we're going? How did that work?
Did you guys hear the question, or should I repeat it? You project.
We just sat on the footage for a really long time, just held on to those VHS tapes through a lot of moves and didn't lose them. And then at some point I just started looking at it, maybe around 2020. And then I roughed out the past stuff, really like a long version of the past stuff. But then I went and shot, and then continually shot and edited. So yeah, I was kind of editing at the same time as shooting.
Okay, I know I saw, yes, green, I think.
Do you feel that your perspective on life or how you view life has changed since seeing yourself in the movie or filming?
Well, I mean, I definitely learned a lot from going and talking to my friends in such an in-depth way, When you hang out with your friends, it's kind of like, sometimes you just kind of shoot the shit and joke around. But when you're trying to make something, when you're interviewing them for something that you're going to show anybody, you just end up, having to dig a little deeper and talk more in depth about things. So I learned a lot from my friends about how, they went through life and what they learned along the way. What was the last part of the question?
I think it was really more just like having, anyone here perspective of life change, seeing yourself when you were young.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, totally. I mean, I put myself in the film because, it was kind of a natural extension of doing the interviews and asking the questions. And I didn't want to cut out the questions and try to make them, like on a TV show, on a reality TV show, you would make them rephrase the question, in their answer, which is really time consuming and leads to a lot of, awkward, phrasing and stuff. So I going into it, I was just like, I'm going to, just include the question, my voice basically. And then I found myself in all this old footage, and some of it seemed good. I thought it was, I was on the fence about including whether or not to, the part where Eliza interviews me, but then eventually just picked it.
I think that the one big change is getting to show it. This has been really huge for us. I think a film like this, it's so personal, nobody in it's famous. I mean, we put a lot of work into it, so we tried to make a quality product, but it's very competitive to get shown, and so I think the biggest thing is to just have that, I guess, success with the film has been really, really awesome for us, so that's a big change.
One thing that struck me in just sitting in the audience and watching this, and I've seen drafts of it over the years, is, I forget who said it, but I think several of the characters said, we're trying to figure out our lives, but we're also trying to figure out what the story of our lives is that we tell ourselves and that we tell other people. And there was a lot of honesty in a lot of this footage, but I think there's also an awareness whenever you're being filmed that you're also telling that story, and it's a weird perspective from where I was sitting.
I do agree with him on that. It's weird to see yourself in your early 20s, talking and trying to be like you have a lot of experience in life and everything. And then also I remember, just having had kids now since then and everything, and you understand, I learned from that time that you can't really tell kids what to do, when they get to that age in their 20s, they really think they know what's going on, so you just kind of have to present some information, not even advice, and then they'll get to it. They're gonna ignore it, but they'll get to it later. But it was weird seeing myself and then feeling how different, like that, when Matt brought that footage, it trigged, like a lot of that stuff I hadn't thought about in years, because I've lived so many intense, different phases in different places, in different parts of the world since then, that a lot of that stuff I didn't even remember. I do remember, working at the job, that's where I ended up owning a restaurant later in Atlanta. I went from the dishwasher to the cook at that job, to the line cook and sous chef, and then I kept going. I ended up owning a restaurant and all that stuff. And but even that was a diversion. I was like, I built the restaurant in Atlanta from scratch myself, me and my brother. And even that to me at that time, while I was doing it, I'm like, this is a period. This is not gonna be forever. I'm an artist. I knew what I was gonna do still, even then. Like it was always gonna be this art.
I got time for one last question. Yes.
I'm turning 22, and I was thinking about, I'm kind of in this weird transitory state where I'm leaving college and leaving all of my friends. So I was gonna say, not to spotlight you guys, but any advice?
Any advice?
Yeah, advice.
Well, the one thing I've learned is that, yeah, just as Anthony was saying, nobody can take advice. Nobody takes advice at all. You can try to give advice, they're not going to take it. The only thing I thought that this film could do is just show you what happened to 5 people, and maybe you can kind of, glean something from that.
I have something better to say. No, but I would say, one piece of advice I would say is, opportunities come in weird packages, and they're hard to recognize, but when they come, you gotta grab them, because they don't come over and over. You kind of get 1 or 2, and if they pass you by, so you kind of gotta keep your eyes open for opportunities. And they're not totally obvious, so you just gotta kind of keep your eye open, you see it, grab it.
Yeah, one last thing to say on that. when we were, during that time, it was a whole different reality in America, just on the planet. So we had to fight the illusion to pursue our arts. We had to fight the illusion much harder back then, because the illusion was much better. It was like the illusion of safety and comfort, and that if you pursued that route, that you were gonna be taken care of for the rest of your life. Now, this period has removed that illusion, because imagine if I had given up art because I've had a few careers. I had a career in construction for 20-something years. I became a master carpenter, all kinds of stuff, several careers. But imagine if I had like given up my art to pursue a career, something that I thought was gonna give me job security or life security. Right about now, I'd be mad at myself. So just, the illusion is gone. You might as well pursue what you love, because you don't have any safety, you don't have security. We never did. It's not like it changed, it just was, the illusion was better. So just do what you want.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all again for joining us for this Q&A, for sharing your film, for being open and vulnerable. We really enjoyed it. I want to thank you all for coming out. We have a day and a quarter left of the festival, so I hope to see you guys at some more screenings. Thank you.